Okay, so I know I missed a month. I guess you can blame it on Ruby, but who can stay mad at her? Okay, welcome to Learn with Mr. Lewis. I am Mr. Lewis, of course, and I'm here sharing my income reports. Yes, you heard that right. Income reports. Because I never got around to doing the September one on its own, so it's September and October combined. And maybe this is what I'll do going forward. Who knows? It's hard to find time to do everything that I need to do in my life. I'm sure you can relate. So I am a full-time social studies teacher. I teach at a middle school in Arizona. I am in year number 24 as a teacher. Oh, and here's something exciting. I just celebrated my 50th birthday, the big 50, thus the vintage 74 shirt. I don't even know if you can see that, but there it is. So the world has been graced with my presence now for 50 years. It's been a better place, let's face it. Anyway, so what else about me? That's probably enough. Let's move on. So I've said the word so a lot just now, but the 14th and 15th months that I've been on TPT, that would be September and October 2024. I just started this all just over a year ago in the summer of 2023, and it's been a lot of work, but it's been very rewarding, both financially and otherwise. So there you go. And you can see previous income reports. I've done several of them, and there are some links in the description, maybe somewhere on your screen right now too. I'll leave that to Mrs. Lewis. All right, so let me just start off by saying, if you haven't seen my August 2024, you might want to watch that. August was epic. By far the best month I've ever had. And let me just say, September and October have not disappointed either. They haven't quite reached those insane levels, but they have been excellent months as well. Anyway, let me talk a little bit about it. So my followers have increased by 12 over the course of these 2 months. I'm up to 105 of them. I got 12 more reviews. My store currently has, wait for it, 129 products. That's up one whole product from where it was a couple of months ago, so should be impressed by that. But actually, that one product is pretty awesome, I do have to admit, and Mrs. Lewis played a big role in it. It's an election thing, electoral college game that I've been playing for years, but was never anywhere near being TPT ready until Mrs. Lewis came along and helped me with it. It's a great product. Anyway, so let's just jump into the numbers really quickly here for both September and October. All right, so let's start with the monthly ranking. This is a new-ish feature on TPT. It's only been around since maybe the beginning of the year, I want to say. So anyway, beginning of 2024, I should say. So this tells you your percentile rank and what store rank number you are. It doesn't come out till around the 5th of the month, so I only have the monthly ranking for September at this point. And my monthly ranking for September was 97th percentile. And so that's really great. I mean, I'm ecstatic about that. I was in the 98th percentile in August. Is that correct? Yeah, just had to double check. Mrs. Lewis knows all. Okay, so anyway, this is something that you can check, like I said, around the 5th of each month, so I should be knowing in a few days here how I did in October. I'm guessing the number is going to be pretty similar, I would think, but I don't know that for sure, of course, until I see it. All right, let's check out our month views. Okay, so what would have been how many views, basically, of my products over the course of these last 2 months. So let's start with September. And as you can see in September, 852 views. That's actually down a little bit from last September. And I don't really know how to account for that exactly. I think some of that could just be my own views. a year ago, as I was so new and I was in the store all the time putting new products in. Like that was really my focus a year ago. And so I wonder if some of those views are just me. Again, I don't know that for sure, but that would be something that I would suspect, but I don't know that for sure. And as you can see, the October views are pretty similar, 894 this time around. A year ago, I had a little over 1,000. And again, I don't know exactly how to account for that. Maybe there's something I need to do to get more views into my store. I don't know, but that's something to think about. Okay, so then my average, though, over the course of the time that I've been on TPT is 880. So this is still above that average. So that's good. That's good. Let's look at units sold now. So units sold in September, 175. That's well above my store average. My store average has been 110, and so that 175 is way up. So even though the views are down, the sales are way up. And on top of that, a lot of the products are higher dollar than what I had a year ago, and so it had a huge impact. And you can see last year, 61 was my total views for September. And if you look here as well, this is October, 188. So again, well above that average of 110. My views last year, my unit sales last year were 115. And so this is still well above that. And you can see that all down there on the chart. I think this is kind of a cool chart that you can do with TPT where you can compare to the previous year. And it's interesting to do that and helpful to do that. I'm doing that constantly, actually, probably more often than I should be. Maybe I'm a little obsessed at looking at these charts, but Mrs. Lewis is probably even more obsessed, let's be honest. All right, so conversion rate. All right, this is a really important one because it lets you know how often does someone who looks at one of your product then go on to buy that product, okay? And as you can see for September, an excellent conversion rate, 21%. I think that that's extremely high. I think that really anything over in the double digits, I think is just an outstanding conversion rate. And what that means is that 1 out of every 5 people who looked at one of my products went ahead and bought that product. So that means that if I can get people to see my products, they're going to like them and they're going to buy them really frequently. So that's great. You can see last year my conversion rate was much lower. But again, might some of that be because I was in those products, looking at those products all the time, adding new products. I don't know. Again, I don't know how much my own views affect these numbers. So I don't know. But anyway, so that was September. October, right there, the same. So these are the 2 best conversion rates I've ever had at 21%. And last year I was at 10% for October. So again, this is a much better conversion rate. So, I mean, if that kind of percentage continues, that would be amazing because, again, 1 out of 5, that's really kind of a dream number. So I don't know if that's something that I can expect to continue going forward, but if so, I will take it. Okay, earnings for these 2 months. This is kind of the moment you've all been waiting for. I mean, you're probably going to be more excited about it than I am. Okay, maybe not. All right, here we go. So as you can see, September was my second month ever above 1,000, and it was well over 1,000. I ended up at $1,299.41, and this was way higher than what I had done a year ago. I mean, we're looking at about 4 times what I did a year ago. So that's crazy. I had only 2 days throughout the month of September 2024 with no sales. And that's a change for me. I've had plenty of dry spells the year before. So that's awesome. My best earning day was over $100, $109.85. I had 12 days over $50. Again, before August, I had barely had any days that hit $50. Do you remember Mrs. Lewis was like 2 or something before August of this year? I think it was only 2 days ever. So to have this many $50 days is great. And then the lowest single day of the month, other than the 2 zeros, was $1.04. But again, it's $1.04 I didn't have before that day. So I will take it. Okay, moving on to October. And you can see the numbers are down a little bit from September, but they also were last year. So it's following a similar trend. I'm still, right there. About 3 times what I'd earned the year before. 915.18 was my total for this year compared to 281.77 in 2023. So again, it's a huge jump, and it's I mean, I don't feel like I'm getting used to this because it's just so exciting to see this kind of success. And I know that there are people out there that are doing way better than this, but I'm sure that there are some of you out there that are just getting started, and hopefully this is encouraging to you that, if you have good products and you put the work in and you do all the little things, which includes making sure that those thumbnails look great. I really can't stress enough what a difference that makes. When I very first started my store, I made my own thumbnails and they looked absolutely wretched. And Mrs. Lewis, who I, kind of revealed to her, hey, guess what? I decided I'm going to finally do TPT because we'd talked about it for a few years. And she looked at it and she was very nice. But she's like, I wonder if we could make those thumbnails look a little better. And then she made thumbnails that look amazing. And so if I were going to give any kind of a tip, that would be one tip I would give right off. The other thing is just making sure that your name of your product and your description help drive searches into your store. So think a lot about that. Maybe sometime I'll talk more on that, but those are two things that I think have made a big difference as far as the success that I've had so far on TPT. All right, anyway, so let me talk a little bit more about October. October was great because no days with no sales, and it always feels good, even if it's just one of those little $1.04 days, which I had some of those, but again, it's better than nothing. I also had 4 days over $50, so not as many as in September, but boy, any day over $50 is just an epic day as far as I'm concerned. We celebrate every time. And then lastly, my best day was just over $100 at $101.58. All right, so let's take a look at my total earnings that I've made so far in this, these 15 months or so now on TPT. And it's just a number that I really did not anticipate when I started this, that I would be at this point this quickly. So that's just, I'm just so humbled and grateful and whatever that this has happened. But and I know I've put in a lot of work, and if I calculated all the hours that Mrs. Lewis and I have put into this, we're probably not making a great per hour amount, but there's also the understanding that at some point it will really pay off because there's that kind of residual passive sort of income that you can potentially get out of this down the road. So anyway, there's the total. It's $8,529.68. And that is money that has been well spent by Mr. Lewis. Let's be real. Recently took a trip to Boston. It was amazing. So we'll just say some of it went to that, and that's great. And that's one of the kind of fun things about it, is it takes a little bit of the pressure off of the old teacher salary when you can bring in a little bit of extra money this way. So anyway, so that's where I am now, a little over a year into all of this, about 15 months or so in to being on TPT. This is a chart that Mrs. Lewis made, and you can see that August of 2024 was just an out of this world kind of a month. But you can also see why I have zero disappointment about September and October as compared to August, because they are my second and third best months I've ever had. And so it's a great trend for me, and I'm really, really, really pleased with that. Okay, I did get some reviews this month, like I mentioned. Let me share a couple of those with you, and it's just a good reminder. Make sure to review people's products. You do get a little bit of TPT credit. I applied some review credit just recently when I made a purchase on TPT for something that I used in class last week, and so it knocks a little bit of that price off. It's not a lot. I want to say it's probably like 5 cents or something per review is all, but it's something, it's something. So anyway, let's take a look at this first review. This is from Stephanie L. This is on my September Today in History warm-ups, and she gave this 5 stars. She used it with 11th graders primarily, extremely satisfied, and Stephanie said, "My students loved this as a way to start off class. Created lots of natural discussion and deeper thinking. the Spotify playlist was a favorite among all students. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I really appreciate that, and I'm so glad to see that you enjoy this product. This is a product that I use every single day with my students, and I have been for several years, and I just keep improving it. And anyway, thank you. That's awesome. All right, this next one is for the bundle, the full year bundle of those Today in History warm-ups. This is from Amy L. She was also extremely satisfied, 5 stars with her 6th graders. And she said, these are well thought out, and I love the included song playlists. I do wish the design was more aesthetically pleasing, but they are great at getting kids thinking when they come to class. And so this is another great review. And what I really appreciate about this review is the little bit of constructive criticism. And that's something to think about. She still loved the product. She still gave me 5 stars, which I certainly appreciate. But then she throws in something, it's not a perfect product. And I'm working on them all the time to try to make them better. And that whole aesthetically pleasing thing has actually got me thinking. And it's a goal of mine. It's something that I really would like to make them, look a little better, both for my own class and as a product. And so it's something that I think I'm going to target maybe to try to have done by next school year, to have them looking more aesthetically pleasing. And so I actually really, really appreciate that constructive criticism. It is something that I've thought about here and there, but I guess never thought about as seriously until I got this review. And so it's something that I can use to improve my product, and anyone who's purchased it in the past, as I do updates, which I do updates, I try to do them every year. So at least that's my goal, is that there will be a new version of it that includes new events, including the events from the previous year that are added onto it. But then at some point in the future, hopefully by next school year, I'll have a version that looks a little bit better than what it does now. I mean, the product, I will admit, is kind of plain looking now, and so that'll be a nice touch that I have a goal to do in the future. So again, thank you. I've talked probably too long about this, but thank you, Amy, for that review. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so that was it for me. As far as any tips for the month, I guess I kind of gave those already. Make sure that you think about those thumbnails and that you work hard to make your thumbnail stand out, especially as you compare it to other similar products. I think there's a tendency to think, I should make my thumbnail look kind of like these other ones. But then it just looks like the other ones. I would say try to do something different. And that's really what Mrs. Lewis had as an idea for my thumbnails. And it makes mine stand out. I don't know that it's better than some of those other ones necessarily, but it's certainly different. And it makes my products look unique. And I think that that's important. Anyway, plans down the road. Just more of the same. I'm just working on trying to make these better, and I am uploading new versions of these pretty frequently. So if you've bought any of my previous Today in Histories, just check your TPT store and go into the purchases page and make sure that you have the latest version of it, because I do upload new versions, probably right now I'm probably doing it a couple of times a month. So just look for that. Also, I would love it for you to join my email list. There's a link for that in the description. And I do also, besides these TPT income reports from time to time, I do daily history videos here on YouTube. And, something to enjoy. I sure enjoy making them most of the time. Anyway, it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. So anyway, I'd love to know how you did in September and October. Let me know down there in the comments. And you can expect an income report. I don't know if I'm going to continue this, every month, which is what I've been trying to do, or if I'm going to do more like 2 to 3 months. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this going forward, but you can expect one coming soon. Will it be a month from now? Maybe. Will it be 2 months? Will it be 3 months? That's the fun of all of this. It's a mystery. It's a mystery for you to solve, I guess. Anyway, all right. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe also. That really does help me out. Thank you again, and goodbye.